The political news cycle is fast, and keeping up can be overwhelming. Trying to find differing perspectives worth your time is even harder. That's why we have scoured the internet for political writing from the right and left that you might not have seen. Has this series exposed you to new ideas? Tell us how. Email us at ourpicks@nytimes.com. For an archive of all the partisan writing roundups, check out Our Picks. From the right, Speaker Paul D. Ryan at a news conference on tax policy at the Capitol on Tuesday. Gabriella Demchik for the New York Times, Jenny Beth Martin in the Hill House. Conservatives, and many conservative and Tea Party groups like the one I represent, will support tax reform precisely because we believe it is a means to pay off our national debt. Ms. Martin is a co-founder of Tea Party Patriots, a national umbrella organization for the broader Tea Party movement. She argues that her group is committed to reducing the size of the government, but she concedes that the key to deficit control is a tax policy that increases government revenue. She addresses critics of the tax cut plan who worry about adding to the national debt by contending that a pro-growth tax code would generate more revenue to flow back to the Treasury. Read more. Buzz Colville in the Daily Caller. The tax framework would immediately help the working class because it would double the zero tax rate bracket to $24,000. Tens of millions more income tax filers would be subject to zero tax because of this reform. Mr. Colville makes the case for the administration's tax plan being a boon to low-income Americans who have been passed over by the stock market-driven economic recovery. Moreover, he cites studies claiming a negative relationship between business taxes and employee compensation. Tax cuts for businesses, he writes, means pay raises for their employees. Read more. Grover Norquist and Patrick Gleason on NBC. Allowing taxpayers to deduct their state and local taxes does not create jobs or help the economy grow. It helps state and local government bureaucracies grow. Mr. Norquist and Mr. Gleason address their audience on the left when they explain why Democrats and progressives should support the new Republican tax plan. The benefits of state and local tax deductions, which are being considered for elimination, disproportionately favor the wealthy, they say. Opposition to scrapping this preference, they write, makes the Democrats' repeated public demands to tax the rich ring hollow. Read more. From the left, Senator Chuck Schumer and Gov. Andrew M. Cuomo of New York held a news conference opposing the Republican tax plan in Selkirk, NY, on Monday. Nathaniel Brooks for the New York Times, Morris Pearl and Democracy Journal. While the Trump tax plan is a long, complex series of changes to the tax code, the elimination of the federal estate tax ranks high among the most egregious ideas. Mr. Pearl is the chairman of the Patriotic Millionaires, an organization of wealthy individuals worried about economic inequality. He defends the estate tax, which the Trump administration is seeking to revoke in its plan. Were every child to be able to succeed in this country regardless of their family circumstances, perhaps concern over concentrating wealth would be unfounded, he writes. That is unfortunately not the case. Read more. Justin Miller in American Prospect. Quietly, Republicans are also pushing a territorial taxation provision that would make it far easier for multinational corporations to avoid paying even a new 20% rate by providing further incentive to stash profits in offshore tax havens. Mr. Miller argues that a provision in the Republican tax plan will encourage corporations to shift their profits to overseas tax havens. Republicans want to move to a territorial system that mirrors how much of the world structures its corporate taxes, a system that does not tax foreign profits at all. However, Mr. Miller says he is unconvinced that Republicans will install adequate protections against corporations storing their profits in offshore tax shelters. If they were serious about this, he writes, they would simply end the deferral of corporations' foreign profits and tax them annually like domestic profit. Read more. Helene Allen in The Washington Post. It's already hard enough to make the American system of saving for retirement more difficult, confusing or disadvantageous for lower and middle-income savers. But Republicans just might be on the verge of accomplishing this, all in an effort to game the budget process, even though President Trump said on Twitter that there would be no changes to 401k plans. Ms. Allen explains the issue is not as resolved as he would have you believe. On Wednesday, there were reports that the retirement savings plans were still up for negotiation. Ms. Allen argues that the problem is not just Mr. Trump's shifting positions on the retirement accounts, but, more broadly, how willing Republicans are to toy with retirement plans, all in an effort to game the budget process. Read more. Finally, from the center, Veronica Ruggie. And recent good news is that there's a debate in Washington about how to make the tax code less destructive. The bad news is that lawmakers will be able to achieve much less than they otherwise could because of bad policy priorities. Ms. Ruggie, writing for the Libertarian Reason, accuses Republicans of being fiscally irresponsible with their tax plan. She says she worries that failing to restrain spending today while cutting taxes means that taxes will have to go up in the future to pay for larger deficits. She adds that while it may be politically expedient, giving the middle class a large tax cut is counterproductive. There is very little economic growth to be expected from reducing the marginal tax rates on middle-income earners. Read more. Justin Fox in Bloomberg. I figure this is as good a time as any to run through what's wrong with the 401k, or at least what's wrong with having made it a centerpiece of our country's retirement savings system. Mr. Fox explains why the 401k tax break should not be untouchable, even if it is politically popular. Millions of taxpayers benefit from the plan, he writes, but far more get nothing from it. If the idea is to actually reduce the tax deductions for retirement savings, not just shift them across time, he argues, it's maybe not so crazy. Read more. Josh Barrow in Business Insider. If you're going to give a tax break for business income, you have to clearly define what's a business and what's just work. That's surprisingly hard. Mr. Barrow applauds the Republican goal of simplifying the tax code. However, he notes, one provision in the plan will complicate a lot of people's taxes. The preferential tax rates for so-called pass-through businesses, which allow owners to be taxed on the income from their business, can be abused, or worse, put business owners at a disadvantage. The solution: don't enact the tax preference in the first place. Read more. Want the partisan writing roundup in your inbox? Sign up for the Morning Briefing newsletter or the What We're Reading newsletter. Have thoughts about this collection? Email feedback to ourpicks@nytimes.com.